So what I have here is the base of shepherd's pie. I browned 1 pound of ground lamb in just a little bit of oil with half of a diced yellow onion, 2 diced or chopped carrots, and 2 stalks of celery that I diced up. And I cooked that for a good bit. Once that had cooked for probably about 10 minutes, I added salt and pepper to taste. I probably started with half a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt. And then I added some paprika, mainly for the color, but I do feel like it makes it a richer flavor. I had granulated garlic only because I didn't have fresh garlic. And I added a pinch of cinnamon. I think it makes it taste really warm, cozy. Then I added about a 1/4 cup of wine. I didn't measure. I just poured some wine in there till the alcohol cooked off. So maybe another 5 to almost 10 minutes. All of this was on medium heat. Hi, Callie. Hi. You say hi. Then once that cooked down, cooked the alcohol off. I added a couple squirts of ketchup, so maybe 2 tablespoons of ketchup, a good tablespoon of Worcester sauce, and then I added about a cup of beef broth. I also added maybe a tablespoon of fresh parsley and a teaspoon of fresh thyme and a half a teaspoon of dried rosemary, only because I didn't have fresh. I let that cook. I did add maybe a tablespoon of cornstarch, let that simmer for just a couple minutes, and then I added in some peas that I had steamed the other night, and I had just steamed them. They were frozen, and I just steamed them with dill and salt. So this is ready to be topped with some potatoes. And over here, I'm just boiling some garden potatoes that I grew this year, some Yukon Golds, and I just leave the skins on. I quarter them or make them to where they're, not too big, like not maybe like a 3-dimensional quarter or something. I guess quarters are 3-dimensional. You know what I mean? A 3-sided quarter? Does that make sense? So I'll just boil these down, drain them, and then sometimes I don't drain all the water because I kind of mash them, stir them. This is what I called stewed potatoes. So I'll just stir them really rough. If I have butter in the fridge, I'll throw a little bit of butter in there. I have salted this water already, and I will salt them just a little bit. This is going to be kind of salty, so I'm not going to add that much salt. And you could totally add cheese or whatever to this. I'm just making it pretty simple. If I don't have butter, which I'm not sure I have any in the fridge right now, I'll just add a couple splashes of olive oil. And then I'm going to bake it at 400 for about 30 minutes or until bubbly. And then I have some diced parsley that I'm going to top it with. And I'll bring you back. Hey friends, so while that's going, I thought I would catch up for a second. I have tried to do videos since my last video, and my phone, which is what I'm filming on, is just not meant for videos, I don't think. So I had filmed a couple of things using the leftover ground turkey meat, and from my last video that I did, my only video that I've done. And half of it recorded, half of it didn't. It decided when it wanted to record. It was a hot mess. I couldn't even figure out how to piece any of it together to make it salvageable. Sorry, my dog's crying at me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get a camera, and that's just not in the budget right now. We moved, so I've also been busy with this moving. We moved to our forever home, and I was really excited. That was why I tried so hard to get my first video out, because I wanted a video in that kitchen. We lived there for 4 years, and it was really important to me to have something to remember it by, because I did a lot in that little kitchen. And this kitchen's a lot bigger, and I'm excited. I have a lot of plans for it, but as the budget allows. So anyways, like I said, I showed you I'm making shepherd's pie, and I believe it's called shepherd's pie. I know there's like a huge, I could really offend somebody if it's shepherd's pie or cottage pie. I am using ground lamb that I got on clearance from Kroger. I didn't have any Guinness, so I just used beef broth and some wine, like I mentioned. And I'm probably going to serve it with, typically you could just serve it by itself, and I have done that, but I have some zucchini that I had sliced up into kind of like french fry pieces. I'm going to roast that at 400, the same temperature, because I'm going to bake it both at the same time. Easy peasy. I cut the zucchini into like french fry pieces, maybe like the size of my pinky finger. I'm just going to put some olive oil on them, a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, and grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to roast them in like a small casserole pan, so they will be kind of touching on top of each other. That's fine. I'm not really picky because it's going to be a side item with the shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is totally going to be the star of the show. So I may also get ambitious and fry some green tomatoes, because I have 3 green tomatoes, 1 pink tomato on my kitchen counter that I don't want them to ripen. I've picked them green for a reason. So if I get the energy while all of that's in the oven, which I probably will, I'll probably fry those up. And I don't deep fry them. I have done that, and that is so good. But I just fry them the way my grandma did, which is the way my mom did. You just slice your tomatoes, you dredge them in some flour, seasoned flour. I love using Kroger seasoning salt. It's one of my favorites. And lots of black pepper. And I just dredge it a couple times. And then I have maybe a 1/4 inch of oil in a pan. If you have a non-stick pan that's not scratched, that's the best thing to use. I do not have a reliable non-stick pan right now, so I'll just use my cast iron, which is well seasoned. I have maybe a 1/4 inch of oil, corn oil, or shortening. That would be good. I'll layer it out, the tomatoes, and I will actually double layer them, but I'll make sure, like when I put a layer of tomatoes down, I'll put the next layer covering like those open holes where you can still see the pan. Let it cook for a long time before you flip. That's the key. A lot of people might not like fried green tomatoes like this, because it does turn into being just a hot pile of mess. Kind of looks like slop. But it is so good to me. And if anyone out there eats fried green tomatoes like this, you have to let me know, because I didn't know. When I went to the state fair as a little girl and I saw I could get fried green tomatoes, I was expecting someone to serve me slop in like one of those little red tins, you know, those red and white checkered tins. When they served me like these big circle discs of like beer battered, deep fried green tomatoes, I was like, somebody screwed up my order. I was cultured very quickly at that moment, and I bit into it, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I can't eat very many of them like that. I think it's just too much oil for me, which is weird because I can totally smash a lot of junk food. But I think it's just what you grow up on, what you like, what you prefer. So I will do them that way sometimes, but my preference is 100% just ugly fried green tomatoes. Maybe I'll do a video on them before I run out of green tomatoes out of the garden this year. Anyways, I will stop chitter-chatting, and I look forward to getting a camera so I can actually do good videos for you guys. Sorry, this is just like a talking video basically. I mean, there is a recipe in it, so I do hope you try it because this is so good. But I will get there. Once I get a camera, I'll get better. So, thank you guys. I'll be back. So here it is right when it's going in the oven. I just finished stirring the potatoes after they got tender. I added a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a couple splashes of olive oil. So I'm just gonna put this in a 400-degree oven. Typically you would use leftover mashed potatoes or fresh mashed potatoes for this. You can literally just use the bagged kind, but I didn't have that, and this is what we're doing. I'll bring you back. And also I wanted to show you the zucchini that I'm making. So I just tossed it with olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, and grated Parmesan cheese. So both of them are gonna go into the oven together at 400. Both will probably take at least 30 minutes. I just wanted to bring you back to show you this fried green tomato slop that I'm making. So I just dredged all these sliced tomatoes, and that's like a pink, pretty much green tomato. Like it was green in the inside, a little pink in parts of the middle, but the rest of them are green. I threw them in a gallon bag. I threw some flour, seasoned in salt and pepper in there first. Then I threw like half the tomatoes sliced up. Then I threw more flour and seasonings in there, because you don't really want your you don't want your wet tomatoes touching the side of your bag if you dredge them, or your container, because you can dredge them in a Tupperware bowl too. Anyways, I shook it up really good. I got some corn oil, about 1/4 inch, and I had it on medium high, but I have it a little bit between medium to medium high now. And I just did that layer thing that I mentioned earlier, and once they get, I mean, it's gonna take a little bit, but once they get like a good browning under there, then I'll flip them. Some of them will stay crispy, but it will turn into a big old thing of slop that it is so good. The key is though, you have to let it brown, you have to let that flour cook, and parts of it get crispy. Like I could flip it now, but nothing under there is crispy. So I gotta really let that crust form. And then I'll flip it in parts. It's a huge pain in the ass, but I'll just flip it as much as I can until I have no raw flour showing. And here is a sneak peek at my zucchini. Let me see if I can shut the light off. Oh, that didn't help, then you can't see. Well, there's my shepherd's pie. And the zucchini, there you go. You can see it's starting to brown. Bring you back. Alright, y'all, so the shepherd's pie is done. If I had done mashed potatoes, like this would be so much more pretty, but just because it's stewed potatoes, this works for us. You know, we're not picky. It's gonna taste so crazy good. You don't have to always follow the rules. Just make it easy for your kitchen. And proof of that is right here. So I'm gonna let this set for at least 20 minutes because I left it in the oven for 39 minutes exactly. I wanted to show you my tomatoes, what they look like when they're flipped. So, and I kind of like cut it with my spatula into thirds or fourths and flipped it. And when, like, see how they're kind of sticking? Like it's not sliding? They're not ready to flip because I just flipped them. But when that actually will kind of slide and you can, it's almost like if you were frying a pizza whole or something. When you can feel that like movement, you're ready to flip. And you could add cornmeal to your mixture and it would make it more crispy and even more delicious, but I don't think I had any cornmeal. My zucchini will be done really soon. I just wanted to show you them. They're getting really brown in spots, but I want a little bit more brown than that. So just gonna rotate it around and probably leave those in there for another 5 to maybe 7 minutes. And they'll be pulled out to chill in just enough time for us to not have to wait very much longer on this. I won't have to let those sit. Those pretty much will be eating when those are done. I'll put them on the plate right out of the pan. If there is a lot of oil, like right now there's a lot of standing oil, then I will drain them just a little bit in a bowl or on a plate, paper towel. If my phone stays charged, I'll bring you back to show you my plate. But I really just need a camera, y'all. I'll get there, I promise. I really think I enjoy doing this. I do, and I don't know why I said I think. I do enjoy doing this. I just need to learn And I need a camera. Alright guys. Hope you have enjoyed my recipes. Thank you for being patient. I love you all so much. Okay, I had to bring you back just to say, when you don't follow the rules of cooking, just put some fresh herbs on top, and voila. I mean, look how beautiful that is with some fresh parsley. Perfect. And I don't care who you are, parsley makes everything taste way better. Alright, I can't believe I'm showing this because there's probably a lot of people in the world that's never seen fried green tomatoes like this. But this is what I'm talking about. This is how I had them as a kid. You get the crispy pieces. You get the not crispy pieces. It is tangy. It is caramelized. Oh my gosh, you guys. I could eat this whole plate. I won't, because I know what that'll do to my tummy. But man, oh my god. I don't know if you can hear the crunch. Oh my goodness. Don't knock it till you try it, y'all. And if you do the deep fried kind and you just want to stick with what you love, I get it. But let me know if anyone else out there has had these kind of fried green tomatoes. That would be really interesting for me to know. Our zucchini got done to where I like it. And that is ready to serve up. Alright, have a blessed day. Always be grateful. And remember to always make it easy for your kitchen.